What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new video in the 2024 Volvo C40 single motor extended range, the one with the biggest battery pack ever in a 40 series recharged Volvo. You join me on a little road trip through the northern part of the Netherlands. Today we are driving about 230-240 kilometers, so that's about 2.5 hours of driving. Both to just enjoy this car, but also to do a bit of range testing on the highway. That of course differs compared to daily driving, like on local roads, highway a bit and whatnot. So really trying out the highway consumption of the car today. So also figures of that of course coming in this video, later in this video. Now as for this car, this is the 2024 C40, which comes in vapor gray metallic, a bit of an Audi grayish kind of color. I think many of you will like it. It's rocking the 20-inch wheels, which I dig a lot. I also have them on my own C40, for example. And the interior is the wool blend upholstery. Yeah, very nice if you ask me. What do you think of it?
Medium.
Medium. Okay. Yeah, so that's nice. Now, we just did a little pit stop after an hour driving to charge the car. It wasn't really required, but there was a fastnet anyway, so why not give it a quick charge then. That was also pretty nice, by the way. It was at 70% state of charge and it charged with 90 kilowatts. So that's pretty fast, especially if I compare it to my own 22 C40. That's way faster. So we got about like a quick 10% state of charge extra. That's nice to have on this extended range. But for now, enough talking, let's continue the trip. So let me tell you guys a bit more about the single motor extended range. This is the newest drivetrain from Volvo, and with the 2024 model years XC40 and C40 Recharge, Volvo came with this newly developed e-motor setup and battery pack. It now has the single motor, the new e-motor on the rear wheels of the car, then with an 82 kilowatt hour battery pack. That's big. Then usable of that is 79 kilowatt hours, and with this new e-motor you also get more horsepower. You used to have like 250-ish. Now you get 272 HP. That is a lot, and also more than 400 Newton meters of torque. So this car just comes along fine in traffic. Now with this new e-motor, Volvo also tries to improve efficiency. That was also mostly the question or demand from customers. More range and also faster charging. This one also has faster charging, up to 200 kilowatt DC fast charging. We are almost at our destination, so maybe the first results from the trip to here. We've driven about 230 kilometers with an average consumption of 18.4 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, 62 miles an hour. Average speed 93 kilometers. So 18 and a half. To be honest, I was expecting better efficiency, 16-ish, for some reason. But then again, fully packed car, AC is running a lot. It's almost 30 degrees Celsius, so it's quite warm. So of course the car needs to cool the cabin, but also probably the battery pack. So maybe that explains the higher consumption of the car. Or my reference is just wrong, that can also be. But of course we have some more days to test this, so let's see at a later point as well. Alright folks, we are on our way home. Today's trip is 2 hours and 13 minutes. In total we need to drive 227 kilometers. At this moment we left with 32% state of charge, which means we need to charge the car somewhere. Now I've put in the final destination in the maps system, so the car automatically suggested some charging stops, but for some reason they were very strange or unknown kind of chargers, which I do not really like, of course, because I need to charge and it needs to be reliable at that moment because we are running low on battery. So I kind of want to recognize it like an Ionity, Fastnet and those things. Eventually it suggested a Tesla supercharging. That's fine, but then you do need to have a subscription or a payment option connected to your Tesla account if you have that. So that was also not really the most useful option. So at this moment we're just gonna drive. Fortunately this is the Netherlands, so you have lots of charging stations, and I also kind of know where the Fastnets and Ionities are. So yeah, we're gonna drive and we're kind of gonna find a charging station. Alrighty folks, started charging. Super easy with this one, just plug it in, tap for payment and the thing starts. Maybe if we have a look over here then we can see how fast it's charging. So we ended up here with 28% state of charge, and currently we are doing 150 kilowatts. So that's already the maximum, for example, my model year 22 C40, and it's still ramping up. So that's pretty impressive, still at 30%, already 150 plus. So that's a good thing. Now lately with the new chargers from Fastnet, you also have this payment thing over here where you can just use your credit card, payment card, whatnot. So that's also pretty easy because sometimes I forget these, especially with like press cars. So that's a good thing. Maybe have a look in the back what Sjors is doing. Maybe to demonstrate, we have a Labrador 25 kg over here chilling in the back. It's okay in a C40. XC40 is surely better, but you know, it's okay in its own little spot. Got my own accessory, the mat, which is kind of useful to have in your C40. Ooh, careful. And with the wool blend and the dog, you kind of need to cover things up. So we have some blankets over there to make sure everything is clean. Stay your place. Coffee. Back on the road after a quick charge, and you can surely notice that this one has the upgraded onboard charger, which can do up to 200 kilowatt DC. We started out with like 30%-ish. At that moment it did more than 150 kilowatt. That pulled through until 50% state of charge, and from there on it kind of went to 125, and then eventually we went near 70% state of charge, and at that moment it was still doing 100 kilowatts. All in all, it was 20 minutes with 40 kilowatt charged. So that is about half a battery in 20 minutes. We grabbed a coffee, said hi to George, helped out these two guys with this Renault Zoe. That is one of the oldest EVs out there, I think, the old Renault Zoe. They had this old charging connection still, and the Fastnet chargers, the updated ones, they did not have that outlet for them. So yeah, they were kind of worried that they wouldn't make it home with their old Zoe. So that was interesting to see also how these chargers are updating and how old connection types with chargers aren't compatible anymore. So that's an interesting development. Let's just hope we stick to CCS and DC charging, and then I think most of us are fine. Now with a longer road trip, there are some things you stumble upon on the car, of course, and there are a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, this one does not have the steering wheel vibration around 100 kilometers, 62 miles an hour, similar as the C40 Extended Range single motor I had a couple of weeks ago. That was a different car. So apparently they really managed to fix that, so that is good. Now I do need to say that when you go full throttle or do a full acceleration, you feel the e-motor vibrating. So there is still a bit of a vibration going on, but then not in the steering wheel. But you kind of notice that, the e-motor is doing probably a lot of work. So you kind of feel this small vibration coming from that motor. So that's an interesting thing. Now suspension wise, this one really is better than my model year 22 C40. We had some good bumps today on some local roads and it went over it super smooth. Also right now on the highway, it's just a bit smoother than my own 22 C40 twin recharge. Maybe also good to mention this one is on software 2.11, which means it has the YouTube app. I haven't tried it out yet, but of course I will sign in and try it out. I also will make a short about it, like showing you guys how it works and how you log in and whatnot. So stay tuned for that as well. Now as for the Vapor Gray metallic color, I tend to like it. Somebody else in this car does not tend to like it. But yeah, I think it's a bit of an Audi color, but it kind of works pretty well on this car, also with the black, gloss black elements. So yeah, it's a nice color to get. Good morning everybody, it is the next day. As yesterday it was getting quite late and also dark, so I figured why not do the closure of this video in the morning. Now then, in total this road trip was about 567 kilometers and the average consumption on that was 19.4 kilowatt per 100 kilometers, 62 miles an hour. Average speed with that was 85 kilometers an hour. To be frankly honest, I was expecting better efficiency, lower figures, let's say 16-ish. For some reason I was expecting that. Maybe that's just the wrong expectations from me, but also comparing it again then to my own C40 22 model with the twin motor, so two motors on it, that averaged often also about 20 to 22 kilowatt per 100 kilometers. So if I compare it to that, then I'm a bit disappointed. Or I was expecting differently maybe from this car in terms of efficiency. Maybe also an interesting example, the drive home yesterday evening. Then we are allowed in the Netherlands to drive a bit faster, so 130 kilometers an hour. I didn't even drive 130 kilometers an hour because I kind of wanted to save a bit of battery as well and see what the car would do, just like 120 speed. And then it did 20.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So that comes really close to my Volvo C40 Recharge twin. So yeah, not the most impressive figures. Then do note this was highway driving. So of course you have higher consumption, but perhaps there were some other factors that influenced this consumption. We had quite a packed car. It was still quite a warm day, so AC was running constantly. Perhaps the car also had to cool the battery a bit after the charging session, of course. So perhaps that also influenced it a little bit. But yeah, all in all, this car was really useful and a joy to drive on this little road trip through this country. You do note that it charges faster, it is a bit more efficient, it takes you a bit further. The real extended range value of this car, I still need to discover that, to be frankly honest. Perhaps you guys also have a bit of experience so far. Let me know then in the comments below. I'm very curious if you maybe have some more positive figures to share with us. But that being said, guys, I thank you a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little road trip tests regarding efficiency and charging and whatnot on this model year 24 single motor extended range. All in all, we of course had a lot of fun testing this car. As always, it is a joy to drive. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and also subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. We are on our way to that 10K, so please subscribe. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for plenty of fun things to come, as you maybe also noted in my update video from last week. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check it out because it's pretty interesting if you ask me. Of course, I see you guys in a brand new video next week. Bye bye.